Let me ask you one question. Have you ever said something in anger that you wished you could take back? Have you ever watched someone you love walk away because of words you spoke in only a few seconds? What if the strongest people in this world are not those who know how to fight, but those who know when to stay silent? Before I begin, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because on this channel we share powerful life stories that teach lessons about discipline, hope, courage, and the choices that can completely change a person's life. Now, this is the story of a young man named David, a young man whose greatest enemy was not poverty, was not failure. It was something much closer, his own anger. David lived with his mother in a quiet little town. His father had passed away years earlier. Since then, his mother had worked tirelessly to raise him alone. She washed clothes for other families, cleaned houses, skipped meals, just to make sure David had something to eat. She believed one day her son would become a good man. David loved his mother, he truly did, but there was one thing he couldn't control. Whenever something went wrong, his anger took over. If breakfast wasn't ready, he shouted. If someone accidentally bumped into him, he shouted. If life disappointed him, he shouted. After every argument, he always regretted it. But by then, the damage had already been done. One evening, his mother spent hours preparing his favorite meal. She smiled as she placed it on the table. David took one bite. The food was colder than he expected. Immediately, he slammed his spoon onto the table. "Can't you do anything right?" His mother's smile disappeared. She quietly picked up the plate. "I'm sorry, David. I'll warm it again." But David had already stormed out of the house. That night, his mother ate dinner alone, while wiping away silent tears. Days passed. David's anger only grew worse. Nobody wanted to spend time with him anymore. Neighbors stopped greeting him. People crossed the road when they saw him coming. Not because he was dangerous, but because nobody knew when he would explode. One afternoon, David lost another job. His employer simply looked at him and said, "You work hard, but your anger makes everyone afraid to work with you." David walked home, angrier than ever. He blamed his boss. He blamed bad luck. He blamed everyone except himself. When he reached home, he found his mother sitting quietly outside. She looked unusually tired. Beside her was a small envelope. She smiled softly. "I've been saving this. I wanted to buy you a birthday gift." David opened the envelope. Inside was just enough money to buy a new pair of shoes. His mother had saved for months. Without thinking, David frowned. "Why didn't you save more? What am I supposed to buy with this?" His mother lowered her eyes. "I tried my best." David threw the envelope onto the chair, then walked inside. Several minutes later, he noticed something. The house was completely silent. Too silent. He walked outside. His mother was still sitting there, quietly crying. Not because of the money, because the son she loved had broken her heart once again. For the first time, David didn't know what to say. The next morning, unable to sleep, David wandered through the town. Eventually, he reached the old primary school. An elderly man sat beneath a large tree reading a book. It was Mr. Harrison, the retired principal. He smiled as David approached. You look like a man carrying something heavy." David forced a smile. "I'm fine." The old principal closed his book. "No, your face says otherwise." For several minutes, David said nothing. Then suddenly, everything came pouring out. "My mother cries because of me. I keep losing jobs. Nobody wants me around. I don't understand what's wrong with me." The old man listened carefully. When David finished, he asked only one question. "When was the last time your anger solved one of your problems?" David stayed silent. He couldn't think of a single time. The old principal smiled gently. "I have a challenge for you. It sounds simple, but it may become the hardest thing you've ever done. Every time you become angry, count slowly to 10 before you speak. If you're still angry after 10, you may say whatever you want." David laughed. "That's it." The principal smiled back. "We'll see." The very next day, David failed. A shopkeeper accidentally gave him the wrong change. He exploded immediately. He forgot the challenge. That evening, he remembered. "I didn't even count." The next day, he failed again. Then again, then again. Each night, he became disappointed in himself. Maybe he would never change. One morning, his mother accidentally dropped a glass while cleaning. It shattered across the floor. David felt anger rising inside him. His fists tightened, his mouth opened. Then, suddenly, he remembered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the time he reached 10, something strange happened. The anger wasn't gone, but it was smaller. For the first time, he quietly said, "It's okay. I'll help you clean it." His mother looked at him, almost in disbelief. Then she smiled. It had been years since she had heard those words. Weeks became months. David still became angry, but now he stopped himself before speaking. Sometimes he walked away. Sometimes he stayed silent. Sometimes he simply took a deep breath. Little by little, people noticed. Neighbors began greeting him again. Children smiled instead of hiding. His mother laughed more often. The house felt peaceful again. One afternoon, David returned to the old school. The retired principal was sitting beneath the same tree. David smiled. "I finally understand." The old man looked up. "What do you understand?" David smiled. "The problem wasn't my anger, it was my mouth." The principal laughed gently. "No, the problem was believing your anger deserved to speak first."
Years later, David became known as one of the kindest men in town. People often asked him, "How did you become so patient?" He always smiled, then quietly counted 1, 2, 3 before answering, because he never forgot the lesson that saved his life. Many people think strength means winning every argument, but real strength is walking away from the argument you don't need, because words spoken in anger can leave scars that apologies cannot erase. Remember this: self-control isn't weakness. Self-control is true strength. Now let me ask you one final question. What is one emotion you want to learn to control better? Tell us in the comments. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story with someone who needs this message today. Thank you for watching. And remember, the strongest people aren't those who control others, they're the ones who learn to control themselves.